In our headlines, President George Weah gets rousing welcome in Grand Cru on day one of his tour of Grand Cru County. Police confirms the death of 8 family members following a graduation party in Paynesville. The House of Representatives passes the supplemental budget in the tune of $24 million United States dollars, and away from home, Senegal's President Macky Sall takes his COVID-19 vaccine on live television. These stories plus many more developments are all coming up in the program Lntv News Live. But first, we take a short break, and when we come back, we bring you the faces of the newsmakers. Welcome back to Lntv News Live. We continue with the program. Hundreds of people have welcomed President George Weah to the coastal city of Grand Cru County. Residents of Grand Cru and nearby areas, dressed in fantastic costumes, lined up the main streets to welcome the Liberian leader to their city. Many of them expressed delight that President Weah has considered Grand Cru as one of the areas of interest on his tour of Grand Cru County. Earlier, the paramount chief of Grand Cru, Yempa Monsieur, gave a highlight of the issues they are expected to present to President Weah. Key among them is the construction of a ferry over River Nugba to easily connect with picnics and other areas. The Liberian leader was then entertained to a traditional war dance before hosting a town hall meeting with the people of Grand Cru. President George Weah has broken grounds for the construction of a new multi-purpose office complex and petroleum storage facility at the Port of Harper. The project, when completed, will help address the age-old constraints associated with the supply of petrol products to the southeastern counties and neighboring cities. Speaking as he broke grounds, President Weah recommitted his government to improving the country.
First of all, I just want to appreciation. Because most of our cabinet ministers understand that Nigerians will no longer be spectators in the economy. Glad that this milestone are going to happen here, have the honor of Nigerian president. It's normal that we dress our boats so we have bigger vessels. This is why I was encouraging you to get an exercise in Monserrado County. You know how to do it. The governor will be with you. The partner.
President of the Republic of Liberia will break ground for a multi-purpose office building here at the Port of Harper, here in Maryland.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Spirit. I lay my hand to God. He's never left the same way. God above, this good the church.
Still in Harper City, President Weah vowed his government's commitment to ensuring that developments are implemented despite challenges.
Today, we are at the midpoint of our 6-year term. During these first 3 years, we have planted the seeds of development, and we are beginning to see the first grain shot. Despite the significant difficulties to overcome due to the downturn in businesses and investment last year, which was a direct result of the coronavirus, we have continued to do the people's work, and our development agenda has not been derailed. Without boasting, I can tell you that this government has done more in these 3 years than any administration have done in any of the 3 years. And we will continue to do more if you give us the chance to complete our work in progress.
For his part, Internal Affairs Minister Vani Sirleaf lauded the people of Maryland for maintaining the peace, especially during the midterm election.
Our country has been singled out among countries in Africa, in West Africa, of being a peaceful country. That election went on without a single incident that will trigger security presence here in Maryland, and it was because of you that happened. So we have come to say thank you. The president will listen to you. He will take note. We have just come to listen, to say hello, and the president will respond. This is why we are here. And we are very pleased. Personally, Your Excellency, Mr. President, here we have the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We have the chair and members of the Congress, including Senator Greg Brown. That makes us to believe, and I know, because my superintendent, we talk every day, that Maryland is at peace. Thank you, Maryland. We are very proud to be here.
The House of Representatives has passed the supplemental budget in the tune of $24 million United States dollars. According to our reporter, it followed a report Thursday from a joint conference committee involving the House of Representatives and the Senate. Our reporter says the conference committee was constituted to resolve outstanding issues following the passage of the supplementary budget by the House of Representatives. It can be recalled the budget was submitted by the executive branch at $10 million and recently passed by the House of Representatives, but the Liberian Senate sought further clarity during concurrence. The supplementary budget pending for the concurrence by the Liberian Senate, according to our reporter, covers the period July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2021. 8 people were on Thursday morning discovered dead at their home in the Coulterfield community in Paynesville. The discovery followed an overnight party on Wednesday when one of the deceased, Nancy Miller, graduated from the University of Liberia. At the scene, an eyewitness, Jefferson Lake, told reporters what he saw.
Everybody's still sleeping, so he left. But it caused us to go to my auntie in the house and people started to move follow up. Everybody laying out in the room. They're shaking.
They didn't have kids there.
Cakes there. I think about 2 or 3 cakes there. Favor should be about 6 or 7 or 8 years in that range. 6 to 8. Saber 2 should be like from 5 to 7 in that range. Yeah, that's the 2 kids I already know about. I don't know if another person 2 or having kids.
So in total, how many persons?
8.
8.
Yeah,
8 persons.
Yeah, I live outside. This is our apartment. Our house is well. They're renting for us.
Did you have people from outside who came yesterday to celebrate with the family? I mean, family relatives who don't live here as well, but they came also. Who are amongst the 8?
Yeah, she had her in-laws there too. Her husband in the state brothers. Yes.
So, the age of the bride?
That was my first time seeing them yesterday, and we didn't interact. Yes.
So all of the 8 were they the people that are living downstairs?
No, the people who are living downstairs was Sis Leslie, Favor, Kowu, Saber, and the 4 I know usually live here. But then Sis Leslie mother was here too. Okay. So the bottom 3 now I don't know.
How many men and how many females?
Maybe if I'm a PSI, it might be 2 and the female be 6.
6 females.
Yeah, all 3 men, 3 men and 5 females. That's the 5 females I call Seba, Kwawu, and Sis Nessie, and her mother and Fewa.
How long have they been here? Are you aware?
Well, they've been here for a very long time, maybe like more than 3 or 4 years. They've been here for a very long time.
Did you hear anything like a struggle before?
No, we didn't hear anything like that. Anything. We didn't get any signs that will say, oh, someone is sweating and we should go there. But usually for me, I always come once I'm in the middle of the night.
Meanwhile, the Liberian National Police (LNP) says the individuals died as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning. Police spokesman Moses Carter made the disclosure to this station Thursday.
At about 6 this morning, our officers received information in the specifically the SKP community, at a community called the Kota community, of some of our citizens who were found lying unconscious. So our investigators moved in and conducted their investigations. And from all indication, the investigation showed that those persons who were found unconscious were actually as a result of carbon monoxide. They were taken to the ERW hospital where they were pronounced dead and where their bodies are currently deposited for identification purposes of family members. How did the police reach this point that they've now said these people died from carbon monoxide? Okay, so a thorough examination was conducted and interviews were conducted. The house where the party was held was also assessed, and from our investigators' standpoint, given all of what they established, that's why they reached this conclusion of carbon monoxide. We just want to say our condolences to families, friends, and relatives of those of our citizens who lost their lives, in such form and manner. We can only say to them, take heart, and we urge that our citizens can take precaution, especially as it relates to the, smoke disposal from generators.
Justice Minister Musa Din has clarified that the letter written by the Solicitor General to the National Elections Commission was not an order, rather an information to NEC. Addressing the Senate Thursday, Councillor Din said the new elections law empowers the Justice Ministry to inform NEC about persons judicially convicted by the court.
I don't want to belabor the point. The provision of the law, section 3.23 of the new elections law, has been read, and it empowers the Minister of Justice to inform the Commission of the names and addresses of all persons judicially convicted and sentenced for this disenfranchisement offense. I was out of the vicinity of the city. This matter I have reviewed rose out of a prosecution that was being handled by the Solicitor General. And he tells me that due to the exigency of the matter, he informed the Elections Commission that Mr. Brani Samukai had been convicted. I may be wrong and stand corrected, but I guess part of the issue we are having is that this letter seems to be regarded as instructions to the Elections Commission. No, largely it was information to the Elections Commission as required by law. And he having now explained to me, I having reviewed the matter, I have approved his action. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Solicitor General Cyrenius Cephas said he did not act alone when he wrote the NEC.
When any action are taken consistent with law, my boss is informed when the action is taken. And after a careful review, and he sees that the action is done consistent with law, no further action is taken, that action is clearly and distinctly defended. So yes, I wrote the National Election Commission. I acted pursuant, 1, to Title 26, Section 50.12, subparagraph B of Article 50, Title 26. It said a person convicted of any of the crimes listed below, or of any attempt or conspiracy to commit such crime, or of the facilitation or solicitation of such crime shall forfeit and any public office he then holds, and may be disqualified for any or a specified public office or category thereof for such period as the court may determine, but no longer than 5 years following completion of sentence imposed for such crimes. B, and I read B, Your Honor. Any felony committed in connection with his employment as a public servant. That one. My next reliance is Chapter 3.
Meanwhile, if you have just come our way, this is a reminder that you are watching Lntv News Live, 30 minutes of news about Liberia and other parts of our one world. It's Thursday, the 25th day of February 2021. My name is Zokwe Beslekon, and anchoring this edition of the program Lntv News Live. Let's recap our top stories. President George Weah gets rousing welcome in Grand Cru on day 1 of his tour of Grand Cru County. Police confirms the death of 8 family members following a graduation party in Paynesville. The House of Representatives passes the supplemental budget in a tune of $24 million and away from home. Senegal's President Macky Sall takes his COVID-19 vaccine. On live television, Lntv News Live takes a short break to be back with more developments. Welcome back. We continue with the program. Montserrado County District 8 Representative Akaris Gray has termed as political harassment and abuse of power by some senators for citing Solicitor General Cyrenius Cephas. Addressing reporters Thursday, the Montserrado County lawmaker said he finds it difficult to believe that these same lawmakers are today backing someone convicted by the court.
From what I saw today, as a ranking lawmaker, a doyen, what in Liberia you call a veteran, was total political harassment and gross abuse of power. Let me repeat. Total political harassment and gross abuse of power. I'll provide examples where the action, what I saw today was degrading, especially by some lawmakers to defend, not only today, a convict. I can recall vividly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the 4th Estate, when Umudiki was appointed, nominated by the President of the Republic of Liberia. Some of the very lawmakers who are defending a convict today that should be serving sentence or a penalty of payment of the Liberian people money and the AFL people money. Those people were the one calling on the Liberian Senate to deny Omodiki because they argue on moral ground or integrity.
Lofa County Representative Mariamo Fofana has written plenary of the House of Representatives to decentralize Liberia's Independence Day celebration by law. Representative Fofana said when the independence celebration is decentralized by law, it will help the development drive of the counties. She spoke to reporters Thursday at her Capitol Hill office.
What we are trying to avoid here is for this celebration to be at the will and pleasure of a president, that one president will come and decide, oh, I'm not doing it every year, I will just do it in Montreal. And we all know when Independence Day is being celebrated, money is set aside by government to put into that process so that that Independence Day celebration can go on, freely, and people can be happy to do that. So we figure that if it is law, it will not be at the will and pleasure of anybody now to say, oh, I don't like this country, I'm not carrying the celebration there, or oh, this this other place the road is challenged, so we can't go there. So maybe those can be reasons why we can spread out the development. Also, just quite recently we passed a law, and an act was created by the legislature for the creation of the Ministry of Tourism. So this way also encourage internal tourism, where our own people will be encouraged to move from one country to another country to get to see the beautiful country that we have. Many of our citizens are just stuck in one place, but once they know that there is going to be an event, especially the celebration of our National Day, it will encourage citizens maybe from Lofa County to visit Grand Cru, or maybe from Grand Cru to visit Cape Mount, and something like that, or even Guapolo like that. So this is the byproduct of this communication, and I am asking the indulgence of my colleagues in the House of Representatives to really pass this into a law.
A bill pushing to grant the Nimba County Community College a university status has seen a ray of hope after it was sent to relevant committees of the House of Representatives Thursday. The committees are reviewing the bills to determine the merits and demerits of its content. Nimba County District 9 Representative Johnson Gueklo is the brain behind the instrument. He spoke to reporters following the first reading of the bill Thursday.
Well, basically the bill is to amend and repeal the 2010 Act that created the Nimba County Community College, and in lieu thereof establish a Nimba University College and grant it a charter. What that means is the bill, when passed into an act, the college now will be at a university college level, and it will be granting 4-year degrees instead of 2-year degrees. So that's a significant portion of that. One can now go to that college and obtain a bachelor's degree instead of stopping at an associate degree. Because that was part of the requirement from the Commission on Higher Education. Where are you going to get your funding, sustainable funding that will not strangulate the university when it is brought at that level? And so there was a financial plan, a 5-year financial plan that outlined where the money will be coming from. First, of course, is a government support, because it's a public institution, so government will provide that support as it's doing right now. Then you have ArcelorMittal. It's a source of funding As is now, ArcelorMittal is providing support for the geology department. Given that this university will be elevated to another level, we expect that ArcelorMittal will proportionately elevate its own support to that institution.
A two-day capacity building initiative for transparency, CBRT communication strategy, began today in Monrovia. The meeting is aimed at making climate action visible at the Nationally Determined Contributions Hub NDC and to improve the knowledge of media practitioners on how to communicate the work of the CBIT in Liberia. Multilateral Environmental Agreement Manager Jefferson Yenabo, speaking on behalf of the EPA boss, urged participants to work together for the interest of the program.
You have, or you will get to realize from other speakers that this is just one of the many activities that you all have been carrying on under the CBRT project. But you also realize that this is one of the very most important activities under the CBRT. Information dissemination is very, very key to anything that we do. And so those of us who are controlling the different halls assemble in this hall today, and we'll be here up to tomorrow. We urge you to please pay keen attention to what we're here for, and let us work together as a team for the betterment of the project, but more so for the Republic of Liberia.
Also speaking, Conservation International Blue Oceans Program Director Mark Orlando stressed the need for greenhouse gas emissions to be reported cleanly, thus in line with the Paris Agreement.
The need for countries to be able to report their emissions transparently and also to build their capacity once abiding to the Paris Agreement. I would say that this training and this part of the engagement is critically important in part of, first of all, building the capacity of people to be able to report, but also enabling Liberia to be able to do this in a transparent manner. Because the key part of the capacity building initiative for transparency means that we have to do it in a transparent manner. And that means also by doing it in a transparent manner, we are able to abide to the two articles that are critical in the Paris Agreement, especially when you look at, say, third world countries or countries that are not in the Annex 1 column, that is Article 6 and Article 13. So for me, I'll say, please take this training seriously, but also have fun while doing it, but also know that this is a critical component of building capacity for Liberia and also
in a bid to improve the skills of forever low options for water flow in IMAS technology, the Chief Executive Officer for Flow, Shimuka McCain, has just ended a month training in IMAS technology in Senegal for provision of safe drinking water. The training brought together several participants from the West African sub-region. Shimuka McCain tells Infomix more about the training.
Well, I was just in Senegal, precisely in Kolda, Diakolon. It was a beautiful place. We went there for a month training in IMAS, and in IMAS is a short form of a long Spanish name, but in English it simply translates as mobile water. IMAS invited me along with another Liberian, so we're two from Liberia, but in all we were about 17. Some of our colleagues were from the Gambia, and the others were from Senegal itself, and we were 2 from Liberia. Initially, they had invited us to come in and upgrade our skills in the EMAS technology on how to drill with EMAS. We were able to learn new improvements in.
Let's now bring you a foreign development. Senegal's President Macky Sall has taken his COVID-19 vaccine live on television. The West African state has vaccinated more than 4,000 people since it launched its vaccination campaign 2 days ago. It followed the arrival of 200,000 doses of China's Sinopharm vaccine. Last week, Mr. Sall said the government bought the vaccine and did not wait to receive doses from the World Health Organization's COVAX scheme, which aims to make it easier for developing nations to purchase them. Senegal is expecting a further 6 million doses of the vaccine. With that from the international scene, this is how I would like to come to the end of the program Lntv News Live. Many thanks to you all for your viewing role. Before we take a leave of you, let's now recap our top stories. President George Weah gets rousing welcome in Grand Cru on day 1 of his tour of Grand Cru County. Police confirms the death of 8 family members following a graduation party in Paynesville. The House of Representatives passes the supplemental budget in the tune of $24 million United States dollars, and away from home, Senegal's President Macky Sall takes his COVID-19 vaccine on live television. Well, this is how we come to the end of the program. On behalf of the entire television crew, my name is Zokwe Beslokon, and I've been anchoring this edition. See you all next Thursday at this time on Lntv News Live. Good night from Paynesville. Thanks for watching.
Speaking at tunesliberia.com.
National Toiletries Incorporated, Liberia-owned and reliable toiletries company, specialized in advanced quality toiletries assorted products such as Kumba tissue, Kumba baby pampers, Kumba napkins, Kumba paper towel, and Kumba Chlora. At National Toiletries Incorporated, we also have Gulf LC and UP cosmetic products. We have the expertise and experience. We train professional Liberian men and women. We use modernized machines and equipment to produce international standard toiletries in Liberia. We also produce Kumba Benu Special Mineral Water, Mamusu Clear Gel, and Laundry Soap. National Toiletries Incorporated, Liberia-owned toiletries. We are located in Paynesville, Benna Farm. Call us on the following numbers: 0777 543 985, 0777 060079, 0886 543 985, or 0770 535 114. Whenever you think about the best toiletries in Liberia, think National Toiletries Incorporated, where every customer is our priority.